Hi, Integrated Math 1. Welcome to lesson 5.2.4b. You are going to want a few things today. You're going to want a compass and a straight edge, pencil, obviously, and your workbook. We are on day 2 of our rotations as functions. You're probably also going to want a protractor today as well. Rotations, we measure things in degrees, and suddenly a protractor is a very handy little guy to have, right? That's just how it goes. So we were rotating things around a center. We need to know if it's positive or negative, right? All of that good stuff. So you have seen that corresponding points on rotated figures are equidistant from the center of rotation, right? We've talked about that, about how, hey, the distance from my center to A should be the same as the distances from my center to A prime, right? I'm just turning it, but I'm not getting further or closer to it, all right? We're just moving around the circle. That radius is staying the same. Now, we mentioned in an earlier lesson in this unit that if 2 points are equidistant from the same point, then you're dealing with a perpendicular bisector, right? If 2 points Q and Q prime are equidistant from the center, then the perpendicular bisector of QQ prime passes through the center. So here's what this means. This means that we can go backwards, that I can look at a rotation, I can connect a point to its image, right? Use a straight edge, make a straight line, and then use my compass to create the perpendicular bisector. And that's going to help me find my center. And that's what we're doing on page 98. This is what we're doing, people. I'm going to help you with the first one, with part A, and then I'm going to let you have fun with part B, okay? So go ahead and bust out your stuff. We're going to make this happen. I got my camera here somewhere. Hang on. I do have a camera. I promise. That even works today. So I'm going to do part A, and then I'll let you have fun with part B, okay? So for part A, I'm going to find the center. And once I do, and I find that angle, I'm actually going to write my rotation as a function. If you think you can manage this without me, that's cool. Hit pause, work it out. Totally fine. If not, feel free to watch and play along. So I'm going to use my straight edge. I'm going to start with A. And actually, yeah, I'm going to start with A and A prime. I'm going to start with these. I'm an alphabetical kind of gal. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect these. So A to A prime. Boop, there it is. And we said that the center is going to be on the perpendicular bisector. You guys are so good at making perpendicular bisectors. You guys were killing it in the last unit. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to put my stabby side on A. Remember that your pencil needs to be more than halfway. Some of you guys have realized you don't need to make the entire arc. You just need to make a mark below and a mark above, right? So that you can kind of figure it out. Don't let it slide. You're going to now shift over so your stabby side is on A prime. And again, make a mark and make another mark. They do need to intersect. And there we go. I've got a point here and a point here. And if I connect these, and I'm going to connect them, I'm going to use kind of a light mark because I feel like there's going to be a lot of lines and it gets confusing. Let's make it kind of a light mark. I'm going to come through here. There's the perpendicular bisector. I know my center of rotation is somewhere on this line. Problem is, I don't know where. So I'm going to do this again. Let's do B and B prime, right? Here's B prime. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect those. And once again, I'm going to do the perpendicular bisector. These are slightly different angle, aren't they? So I'm going to put my stabby side on B. I'm going to make sure I'm more than halfway, which I am. I'm going to make a mark somewhere out here. I'm going to make another mark on the other side somewhere. Going to keep that same arc, put my stabby side on B prime. I'm going to make a mark out here somewhere and a mark out here somewhere. And now I know, boom, Boom. If I've done this right, if I've done this carefully. All right, so now I've got my other perpendicular bisector. I'm going to make this original perpendicular bisector, I'm going to make it a little longer because these guys, if I did this right, they should intersect. Ooh, look, we're getting close. They should intersect, right? I'm going to keep going. It's not perfect, but you get the idea. It looks like they should intersect somewhere out here somewhere. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. This works. This works. Now, of course, I want the angle. So now I have a center. You can call this whatever you like. I'm kind of boring. A, B, C, D. I'm going to call this E. Why not? So I'm going to call that point E. Now, of course, I do need to figure out the angle, and I'm going to use A and A prime again. I do need to figure out the angle from A to A prime. There's so many lines happening here, aren't there? I'm going to use my compass. I do notice that I'm going counterclockwise. That's interesting to note. Put my circle over E. I'm going to line up my line with A. Ooh, wow, look at that. That's almost exactly, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know why you can see it, but if I follow this line, it's like exactly 30 degrees, isn't it? Ooh, so that's a 30-degree angle. So that's 30 degrees. Now, let's go ahead and let's write our lovely, lovely function. So R for reflection. E is my center. Comma, my angle of rotation. We said it's 30 degrees. Now, please be careful. We're going clockwise. If I'm going from A and I'm shifting up here to A prime, I'm moving clockwise. That means that's a negative 30 degrees. My input is, of course, this lovely little guy, A, B, C, D. And of course, the output is A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. Oops, there we go. I got it. Has it been much? Go ahead and hit pause and try out B, and then hit play when you're ready to check your work. So I'm going to try out B. Again, just because I'm boring, I'm going to connect A and A prime. So there's A. Oh, sorry, did I go off the screen? I did. There's A prime. I'm going to connect those guys up. I'm going to find the perpendicular bisector. May need to make sure I'm more than halfway. I am. Okay, good. Making sure. So I'm going to make a mark out here somewhere. A mark out here somewhere. There we go. Going to shift over to A, since I already did that on A prime. I'm going to shift over, make a mark out here somewhere, and a mark out here somewhere. Ooh, I almost missed. Hang on. Come back over to my A prime. I clearly need to make that a little bit more. Cool. So here and here, make a nice long line because I didn't make my lines long enough last time, and that was a pain. So I'm going to make a nice long line out here. And you can do B to B prime. You can do C to C prime. Let's do B to B prime. Because again, I like my things alphabetical. I'm going to use my straight edge and connect them. I'm going to now use my compass. Make sure I'm more than halfway. Make a mark on one side and then on the other. And then I'm going to flip over my stabby guy on B instead of B prime, make a mark on one side, then on the other. Do you like the way I turn my paper instead of my pencil? I know. So I have a point and a point. And again, I'm going to make a nice long line. Woo! Oh, these intersected real nice. There we go. There's my point. There's my center of rotation. Yeah! There's my center of rotation. Since this is ABC, I guess I'll just call this D again. Sorry, I like imagination. We do need to figure out the angle of rotation. So you can use any of these you like. I'm going to go C to C prime just because I've got so many lines going around on the others. I feel like this will be easier. So I'm going to go C, D to C, and then D to C prime. I'm actually going to make it kind of long. Grab my protractor. Center. Oh, sorry, I bumped it. My bad. I'm going to bring it back. I will, I promise. There it is. So I'm going to grab my protractor and my center. Look at all these lines. My center is going to go over D. I'm going to line it up. Actually, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to do my center over D, and I'm going to line it up with C. And it looks like, it's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? I didn't make that line long enough. It's okay. It's not okay, Scott. It's okay. It's not okay. Just want to make sure I'm getting the right angle going on here. So it looks like it's kind of between, let me line it up correctly. If I keep going here, it looks like, I don't know how you can see this, I'm between 50 and 60. It looks like I'm coming right up on 55. So it looks like I've got a 55-degree turn here. I can see that I'm going counterclockwise this time, right? Oh, yep. So that's going to be a positive 55. That one was a negative 30. It's going to be a positive 55. So I'm doing a rotation around, we're calling that D, of a positive 55 degrees, right? Right? Of triangle ABC, which of course means my output, sorry about that, is triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So rotation around D of a positive 55 degrees. I guess I don't need the degree symbol there. Of triangle, my input of triangle ABC and my output is triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Is your head spinning yet? Maybe a little. It happens. All right, so you have now realized that translations, reflections, rotations, these are all isometries, which means that they preserve distance and angle measures, right? Same size, same shape. So you can describe, you can sketch what isometries are happening here. And it can be more than one. What isometries are happening here on page 99 that map the original onto the image. Keep in mind the original is a solid one. The image with the dashed lines are the images. Those are the new ones. So what's happening? Reflections, translations, rotations. What's happening here? Go ahead, hit pause, jot down your thoughts, hit play when you're ready to check your work. There's more than one way of thinking of this. Perhaps you thought of this as a rotation. That's totally cool. I actually thought of this, though, when I looked at this, I thought of this as a reflection across a horizontal line, right? So I flipped it up. And then I thought of, oh, okay, I can reflect it again across a vertical line. So I flipped up and then flipped over. If you thought of it as a rotation, that's cool. But I was like, I could reflect it over a horizontal line and then reflect it over a vertical line. Ooh. What about B? Had to do with B. So for B, I had a different thought. My brain is always thinking reflections. I see C prime to B, but then I see B to C, right? So I thought, okay, well, if I reflected across a vertical line, that would work, right? I could flip it, this one, I would flip it over, then I would have to go down. So it looks like I have to reflect across a vertical line and then translate it down in order to get my congruent figures on. Nice. All right. As always, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found this useful. If you have questions or concerns, please come talk to me. I'm around, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.